Hi there, it's October 18th, 2018. This is Andrew in Omaha, Nebraska. Today I'm going to be repairing a medicine ball. It's a 30-pound medicine ball from a local CrossFit gym. I've actually repaired this ball once before. What happens is it's used for an exercise that's called wall balls. If you wonder what that is, just Google it, CrossFit wall balls, and it'll bring you up to speed on it. But it involves throwing a ball up at a target as many times as possible, catching it in a squat, and repeating over and over until you can't do them anymore. And eventually the ball will get dropped on the ground. And in the case of this ball, which is a few years old, the seams will end up blowing out. Now, I've already repaired this ball once before when this side blew out, and I went and stitched it back together. And this time, this side blew out. So I just finished stitching that back together. This is a 30-pound wall ball, or medicine ball rather. One of the things with these medicine balls is when I first when I was first going to do the repair on it, I thought I could just undo the laces here on the top and turn it inside out, take the stuffing or whatever, the weights out, and then just run it through my machine and fix it that way. Well, that's not the case. This thing's full of shredded up tires and other types of weights, and it's almost impossible to get them out of here from the way the factory's got it set up. So I did take the lacing out. The first time I repaired this, realized that there's no way I'm going to be able to turn this thing inside out. So I ended up having to stitch this seam up in the same way that I did the other two as well. But this stitching method that I'm using can repair these balls on the outside of the ball, and it's similar to lacing up your shoes. But if you're a gym owner or you have one of these at home or something, and this happens where the side blows out on you, I mean, this is the way you can repair it yourself, because I believe this ball here retails for about $130 off of Rogue's website, which is pretty expensive. And this is just an easy repair I was able to do on it. I use polyester thread and two saddle stitcher needles. These needles, you can buy a pack. I think there's like 20 in there or something for less than $10. And then this polyester thread, you can get it, it's called Tiger thread. And I got this from the Rocky Mountain Leather Supply Company. And I'll leave a link to their website in the description. But there's this company called Maker's Leather Supply, and I'll leave them a link to their website as well. They have just started carrying their own waxed polyester hand stitching thread, and it's costs substantially less than the Tiger thread. A spool of this is about $30, and I think a spool of their in-house hand stitching thread is about $10 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. You have to go to their website and check it out. But those are that's the thread and needle combination I use to do this repair. So all right. In order to get started on this type of repair, I'm just going to demonstrate this lacing stitch. Like I said, it's similar to tying your shoes, but you're going to utilize as many of the factory holes on the ball as you possibly can. So you're just going to go through the first hole here, and then you're going to pull the needle all the way through that first piece of material. You're going to make your life so much easier if you do that during a majority of these stitches versus trying to run the needle through both pieces at the same time. So you got your needle and your thread all the way through. Give yourself a little bit of slack. Then you're going to lift up this lip here. You're going to find your hole. You're going to come back through. And then you're going to even out your threads with your needles. So there's an equal amount of thread on each needle. And then you'll go back through the same holes. Pull it through. You're going to peel it back. Give yourself some slack. Come back through this hole. Cinch that down. Same thing, you're going to go through this hole, all the way out. You're going to peel that piece of material back. And come back up through that hole. And then you'll pull them tight. Now don't pull on this too tight or you're going to rip this polyester or vinyl plasticky material that these wall balls are made out of. But now we got a starting point. So I go the same way every time all the way up. So take the left needle, go into the right empty hole above the last hole where there's thread sticking out, pull it through, all the way through, peel back the material, find your next hole, come up, pull it snug but not super tight. Same thing with the next needle. Through that hole, that thread is sticking out, come all the way through. Then peel the material back, find your hole. There it is. We're going to come up. It's going to make a little X. And then you can pull. And there you go. If you're having trouble prying up some of these broken threads, sometimes it helps to just take a little awl, and I just take it and then I can pry the threads up. Remove them. This is at the end of the stitch. I'll cut that off. All right, we're going to get started here. As you can see, there's a hole here and a hole here left from the factory. This is an overlap type of a stitch where one piece of the material is folded over, which would be this side here, and this side is left flat. So I'm gotta kind of search to find that needle. These little pellets are falling all over the place, but what helps sometimes is using a pair of needle nose pliers, because I can see the needle down in there. I'm gonna grab hold of it. And pull it through. So now I'm through that first hole, and then I can just come back over here to this second hole, or this hole that's directly across from it, and then just pull it through. Now I'm to a point where I need to get more thread because I'm almost out. So what I'm going to do is simply go through the same hole, this hole right here that this piece of thread is sticking out of. I'm going to take this needle that's sticking out on the opposite side and go through that hole just like I've been doing. Pull the needle through. Now, instead of creating a new X in the material, we're just gonna make a loop. So typically I would go up to the next hole here, but not this time. Now take this needle here, I'm gonna go back through that hole that this piece of thread is sticking out of. Through. And then I'm just going to tie this off. Three knots should be sufficient. Those pieces are melted and sealed up. All right. Now, as you can see, I just started up right where I left off, and nothing changes. Just kind of hanging out here in the garage. I got Elon Musk's spaceman in the car going in the background. I had to run to the store and grab a cigarette lighter. It's my other one ran out of fuel. And the Mega Millions jackpot just went up to over $900 million. There's a man in front of me. He's buying a whole stack of lottery tickets. Of course, the place where they sell the lottery tickets is the same spot where they sell the cigarette lighters. In case you're wondering, yes, I did buy one Mega Millions ticket. What the heck, I was there. Even though the chances of winning are about as good as getting hit by lightning or some other really one in a million chance. Anyway, as you can see, I'm getting close to the end here. Once you get moving on this, it goes pretty smooth and goes pretty quick because you're basically just lacing your shoes up as you go along. So here I am at the very end. This is as far as I can go. I'm gonna poke the needle. I want to make sure this hole is, I can find it when I go through the other side. I'm just using the screwdriver here since I'm going to try to, I have to try to go through both sides of material at once now. And it hurts really bad when you drive that needle into your thumb, so that's why I use a screwdriver. And now I'm just going to go back through the same holes again, make a loop, we'll tie it off and then burn the edges and we're done. That very last stitch is probably the worst one out of the whole entire run, just to try to get that all the way through, but and we're finished.